back now with the roundtable, and we just listened to Tim Sullivan, who is the CEO of the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, talk about his plans and the governor's plans to bring business into the state. Let's go around the table and talk about how realistic some of this is, considering all the obstacles that we face. Dan, your thoughts?
The biggest obstacle we're facing right now is actually about infrastructure. The reason you would come to New Jersey rather than going to Kentucky is not because of the tax situation, it's because of proximity to New York. And the issue is proximity is not just about geographic space, it's about time it takes to travel and the reliability of that. If the trains aren't running and the subways aren't running, then it doesn't matter how close you are. And that's a huge obstacle for anyone wanting to come and relocate in New Jersey. You have to have reliable infrastructure, you have to have reliable transportation, and right now we just don't have that.
Peter, you're governor, his plan.
I agree with the plan, but to the point, infrastructure. We talk a lot about New Jersey Transit, but we also have to talk about the tunnel. That tunnel project that we know that we need to address and fix. No one's talking about that. In addition, what about our roads? I lately have seen our roads become more overcrowded. You have properly infrastructure in your bridges, so you need to address that. And lastly, property taxes. It's not a matter of just the homeowners, but businesses too. Who's going to want to invest in New Jersey if property taxes are one of the highest amongst the nation?
Who's going to want to live here and pay these taxes?
It's a good question, especially with Governor Murphy pledging to raise taxes. He really seems to have no plan for affordability in the state, and that's really going to make it difficult for businesses to want to come here. Mercedes-Benz, when they left Bergen County a couple years ago, they said affordability was one of the #1 issues, and transportation infrastructure. We keep going back to that one issue. So I feel for Tim. He's got a very tough job ahead of him under this governor.
He didn't talk about it, but the emphasis is really on science and technology, Mark, getting those jobs. They're really looking to create some innovative incubators, but really focused on that.
There's been try to be a big selling point in Newark to try to have more science and technology jobs, focused around places like NJIT. But at the same time, Newark is going to have problems going forward, realizing an actual renaissance, partially for things they can't control, like NJ Transit. It's supposed to be a great transit hub. Also, in terms of infrastructure, Newark has a problem with lead in the water.
And we did hear him say that he's interested in not just the cities, but also targeting communities around the state. I live in Summit. That's a natural place for them to put in some kind of incubator, or Westfield, or maybe even, down by you in the remote regions of the state.
Well, the big issue here is that you want to move these jobs around as much as possible because that makes it more recession-proof. If everything is in one area, then things like infrastructure can be a huge problem. If you spread it around, you're going to make it more recession-proof, but perhaps more importantly, it's going to be better for your re-election prospects. You want to be able to go to every county and say, boy, I've put this much money into each of these 21 counties, because let's be clear, this is about economics. This is also about politics. Why are we so worried about bringing in new business, bringing in these incubators? So we can increase the tax base, so we can, in theory, bring more money in without raising taxes as much as we would otherwise. So we need to bring this wealth in. The problem is, do we really trust that the state is going to have this fair, transparent process for awarding all these grants? We're talking about a lot of money in matching grants. Not everyone's going to get them. Someone at some point has to decide who gets the grant and who doesn't. And New Jersey does not have a great track record with making these sort of decisions.
It did sound a little muddled as far as how do we choose this?
Well, especially when it comes down to local areas, the local representatives are going to have a lot of pull in that. And it's hard to imagine the county bosses are not going to have the people that they want to get that money. And we've seen this before with past grant programs. And that's also a really big problem. Every dollar of this that goes into corruption is a dollar that doesn't go into actually revitalizing the New Jersey economy.
Governor Murphy never seemed happier to me than he did when he was in Germany and Israel. Maybe because he was away during a not so great time on New Jersey Transit, but he seems like that's really his sweet spot. He really wants to go back to being, the Goldman Sachs CEO, talking to other CEOs, CEO to CEO, I need you to come here.
And that's funny, while I'm listening to Tim, you can hear that, and I think that's what that administration wants to target, which is great. But you also have to remember places like Newark, Linden, a lot of these urban cities that don't have that infrastructure that needs to be built up. So while you want to go and talk to CEOs to bring money in, you have to have that infrastructure in some of your suburbs, your urban communities, in order for when a business comes in, they have that pool, that talent. And I kind of get that from Tim, that they're not really going back to the communities to get their input and talk about the programs that are out there. And to your point, it's going to be left up to politics and county bosses. And at the end of the day, we're back in the circle. How does that help people at the lower end.
It doesn't seem like this is designed to help people at the lower end, period.
And I think that's why people have a lack of trust in government sometimes. It's going to the point is transparency. How do we take, these jobs that people that may be working at Google, Amazon, and bring that to people who live in a town like mine, like Linden, who had a strong industrial base, but GM left. So we would like that people who work at GM, who work at ConocoPhillips, people at Merck, how do we get them from working those jobs to a Google, to an Amazon, to part of the newer economy? There's no clear direction right now.
Part of that is the support for education
Absolutely.
in the state. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. I'm Diane Doctor. This has been New Jersey Now. We'll be back next week with another edition of New Jersey Now. Have a great day.